A supermodel crashed at a competition and died after a month in a coma. Tragic finale. Miss Universe finalist Sienna Weir died at the age of 23 in an accident while training for a horseback ride. The life support machine was disconnected last Thursday. The decision to euthanize her was made by her family because there was no chance of her coming out of her coma. The model was riding at Windsor Polo Grounds on April 2nd when her horse collapsed. Her injuries were incompatible with life, and they fought for her life in a Sydney hospital, but to no avail. Her agency Scoop Management confirmed the news with a social media post, "Forever in our hearts." Interestingly, Weir is far from new to horseback riding. She's been practicing the sport since she was 3 years old. Although I have lived most of my life in the city, I have a deep and abiding love for show jumping. My family doesn't know where this passion came from, but I can't imagine my life without it. I go out of town 2 to 3 times a week to train and compete, Weir said. In addition, the girl had a degree in English literature and psychology, and the money she earned was donated to children with cancer. The plan was to move to London. The local equestrian community was shocked by the news, the executive director of the local federation said. The girl's social media was flooded with thousands of messages, with one of the country's famous photographers, Chris Dwyer, writing, "You were one of the kindest souls in the world. You lit up a room, and now that you're gone, the world is a much darker place." Horses have been a growing stumbling block to sports lately. After an incident at the Olympics in modern pentathlon, equestrianism is about to be removed from the program, replaced by an obstacle course. The German pentathlete Annika Schloe was in the lead after several events, but she was drawn to a stallion who would not ride the obstacle course. The German snapped at the poor animal, and her trainer even hit Saint Boy with his fist. Tragedies in equestrian sports are also, to put it mildly, not uncommon. Just a week ago, American junior Hannah Surface died in competition. The 15-year-old rider fell down from the horse when it stumbled. Then the horse also collapsed and landed right on the head of the rider. The animal was not hurt. Fatal cases also occurred in Australia. In 2016, 2 young athletes died 2 months apart. One had his chest crushed after a fall, the other died instantly due to head injuries. They also affected Russian equestrian sports. In 2016, a promising Russian rider, Nikita Sotskov, died at a competition in Belarus. On the approach to the last obstacle of the cross, the horse fell, and the rider and horse overturned, which led to the death of the athlete. At that time, the Belarusian Federation gave an unusual explanation for the incident. "The horse turned over by jumping," said then the deputy chairman of the Belarusian Equestrian Federation, BFK, Natalia Uranova. The case was then handled by the investigative committee. Even the FEI expressed condolences in the International Federation. Secretary General Sabrina Ibanez said that Nikita Sotskov was one of the most promising young Russian riders, and this news will have a great impact on all those involved in the sport. Sergei Rogozhin, the first Olympic champion from the USSR in equestrian triathlon, also died tragically in competition. He won the Olympics in Moscow, but on one of the most difficult courses near Kostroma, the rider and horse could not overcome the most difficult obstacle, a 2-meter ditch, with a wooden plank in front of it and a banquet at the exit. Rogozhin was crushed to death after the fall. The peculiarity is that, unlike other sports, hardly any technology can affect the horses, and the risk of death will always exist. And it will have to be dealt with.